Something that I really enjoy in Pokemon Go is research days, and at the end of this month, we're going to be getting one featuring 4 different Pokemon. I'm really excited about this one, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but I do think there's a lot of things that players are complaining about that we do need to address. So for this video, I'm going to be talking about the Fuzzy Buddy Research Day, and then sharing some of my thoughts regarding how the community is reacting to this particular event. Alright, how's it going everyone? Count Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So let's talk about the Fuzzy Buddy Research Day that we're going to be getting at the end of March. This is going to be a research day featuring 4 different bear-like Pokemon, and I am really excited about this one. When it comes to research days, in my opinion, they are some of the most underrated content in Pokemon Go, and I think a lot of that is because a lot of players are very frustrated at research days because they require just a sheer number of Pokestops. So unfortunately, this is the type of event that's not going to be available for everyone, but at least if you live in a high population area with a lot of points of interests, then it's definitely going to be a lot of fun, and you could walk out with some really high IV Shinies. And typically when it comes to these sort of events, they do require a little bit of planning, because if you do not go to a high population area, you're not going to get the most out of this sort of an event. So yeah, I really do think that if you want any of the Shinies that are going to be offered for this particular research day, you will need to go out to a high population area. But yeah, let's talk about the details for this event, and afterwards I'll be sharing some of my thoughts regarding how players are reacting to it. The Fuzzy Buddy Research Day is going to be happening on March 29 from 2 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. local time. It's going to be featuring 4 different Pokemon, which is going to be Teddiursa, Cubchoo, Pancham, and Stufful, and every single one of them are going to have an increased shiny chance when you get them from Field Research Task rewards. Now, aside from these 4 Pokemon, we're also going to be seeing the following wild encounters. You're going to be seeing Sentret, Slackoth, Bidoof, Minccino, as well as Bunnelby in the wild, and every single one of those are also going to have an increased shiny chance. Something you do need to keep in mind is that this is not going to be the same shiny rate as Community Days, so don't expect to come out with a whole bunch of shinies for any of these Pokemon. It's going to be quite rare still. It's probably going to be at a rate of about 1 in 60 encounters, so make sure you keep your expectations in check. This is not going to be a massive shiny hunt to the level of Community Days. Now, during this event, there's also going to be a paid timed research, and it's going to include encounters for the 4 featured Pokemon. So if you do not have a whole bunch of Pokestops around you, this is essentially going to be your paid method for getting any of these shinies. It's unfortunate that they're not including it for free, because in the past that's what they did, but at the very least, this option is going to be available to you. So how exactly do these research days work? Well, once the event starts, you will want to go and spin photo discs at Pokestops, and you'll be able to get special field research tasks that will award you with any of the featured Pokemon. These tasks typically have very basic things you need to do, and when you complete them, you will get any of the 4 featured Pokemon, and they will have an increased shiny rate. In order to get the best out of these sort of events, you will want to be at a high population area where there is a high density of Pokestops. That way you can complete as many of these tasks as possible, and you will be able to get more shinies and more high IVs of any of the featured Pokemon. So I'll be honest with you, I'm really excited about this one, and it's mainly because I really want myself a shiny Pancham. And because I've been hatching so many 12km eggs hoping for this one particular shiny, I'm really glad that they are doing a research day featuring this one Pokemon. Now, there is one complaint that I am seeing very frequently within the Pokemon Go community regarding this particular research day, and it is the fact that they are including 4 different Pokemon. That means your chances of getting a shiny for one of the particular Pokemon is going to be a lot lower than it typically would be. And I totally can see that, because when you complete your research tasks, you're going to be getting one of 4 Pokemon rather than just 1 Pokemon, and I can see why a lot of players would be frustrated by that, because 2 out of the 4 Pokemon already had Community Days in the past. I'm talking about Teddiursa and Stufful, And because of that, I think a lot of players already have a whole bunch of shinies of those two particular Pokemon. So in a way, it seems like there's going to be two filler Pokemon and then two Pokemon that players will actually care about. Of course, not a lot of players may have been around during those community days, so they missed out on those two particular shinies. So this will be a great opportunity for them to essentially catch up. But I will say that that one criticism is definitely well merited, and I could totally understand it because having a research day with 4 Pokemon as opposed to 1 is definitely going to create a lot of moments where you're going to pick up shinies that you just simply do not care about. Now, another complaint that I see is not necessarily going to apply to everyone, but this is going to be happening on the same weekend as City Safari events. A lot of players are going to various cities for those specific ticketed events, and the fact that they're going to be including something that's going to be overlapping with those events, it's going to be very frustrating for those specific players. But this is going to be a small portion of the player base. Not everyone is going to go to a City Safari event, but for those who are going to a City Safari event, yeah, I could totally understand why this is frustrating. Because when it comes to research days, they do require a lot of effort, they do require a lot of grinding, and if you're focused on the City Safari event as opposed to this research day, then yeah, I do think that for a lot of players, they're gonna feel like they're missing out. So yeah, I do think that was a bit of an oversight. I feel like because there are IRL events going on during that weekend, they probably should not have scheduled some sort of in-game event. But I could totally understand that this is not going to affect a majority of players. There's going to be a lot of players out there who are not going to be attending City Safari events, and this is going to be a great event for them to play on. So yeah, I really do not know how I feel necessarily about that sort of criticism, but at the very least, I can totally understand why people are frustrated. But yeah, besides all of that, I'm really excited about this event because, like I said, this will be a great opportunity for me to finally pick up a shiny Pancham, which is a shiny that I've always wanted. And considering that it is a research day, every single one of those shinies are going to be at least a medium-high IV, and I really like that. So yeah, hopefully I'll end up picking up a Shundo or at least a high IV of Shiny Pancham. That would definitely be really cool, and I am looking forward to this event. The opportunity is definitely there, and I really do think that's something that pretty much every single player should not ignore. But yeah, in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts regarding this Fuzzy Buddy Research Day. Are you looking forward to it, or are you going to skip it out because you just simply do not care about any of these shinies? Definitely share your reasons for thinking that down below, and let's have a great discussion. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget that notification bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. Real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the absolute best way you can do that is going to be by joining my Patreon. And if you decide to become a paid Patreon member, I'm going to add you to my Pokemon Go friends list. So that means for stuff like remote raids, sending and receiving gifts, different things like that. If you want to play Pokemon Go with me and interact with me on the daily, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you're always welcome to do so by following me on social media. My handle is @CountJinsula. I'm on the platforms that you see on the bottom of your screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow, and that would be a huge help to my channel. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today, and I'll catch you all later.